Oh, don't go live yet. Oh my. Okay, go live. I'll join you now. Ah, Father, kilo shele.
Okay.
What is? Ah, let me
About
just.
worry. It's Facebook now that is ahead. If let me fix this, let me open the password. I've already copied the text I put in the description. You just change the date to 15th June. Then hook it to face yourself. Ah, 10 minutes. It's already late. Mr. Titunti Law. Which one do I use? I think it's this one I use. Okay, I was wondering. Please work on it. I beg you. Wow. Okay. Sit there. Oh gosh. Just about to go live, but what's it long? Okay, it's back there. Okay. I'm gonna go live with you. This will take 3 seconds. This showing. So, okay. That is gone. Oh, Mr. T. Hmm. Never me not getting Alex. Is he okay? Ooh, good morning this morning, the 15th day of June, 2024. We must apologize for starting a little bit late. It's technical issues here and there. There's no excuse, really. Well, let's start. This is the Vintage Talk Show with the Fudge. Thank you for listening to us, for joining us this morning. This lovely, rainy Saturday morning. I don't know what's happening at your end, but here, not exactly cats and dogs, but it's rain steadily. Um, we're about to start. And my name is Femi Akintunde-Johnson. I'm your uncle. My friends call me Fudge. My friends have not joined me. I'm still waiting to connect with them, Tokumbo Jekunle, and also Alex Ogundadebe. Mm, the third leg of the tripod is unavoidably absent. We will not be hearing Boston's voice today. But we'll have fun because the delectable, dark and lovely Esife is in the studio with me. Good morning, Esife.
Good morning.
I didn't hear you.
Good morning to everybody. Happy cool day, happy rainy season. Bakade Salah to all Muslim fans, family, friends, offline, online, anywhere.
Thank you for that. Baraka de Sala. Very expensive salad that we have now. I'm hearing rams in the region of 500,000 to 700,000. What million? It's not the cow. It's not the fairly used cow. It's the ram that we're going to eat. It's tough. But it is what it is. Life goes on. Today we're going to have interesting things. I'd like to be able to have point blank, but we'll have talking points with the guest. Join us from Abuja, and we'll have our usual entertainment news, global trends, and our takes on today's newspaper headlines. But first, what did what do we take from our ancestors? Let's flip back, and I quote: "It says the axe forgets, but the tree remembers." The axe forgets, but the tree remembers. It's like the one who beats you mercilessly. He forgets that this is done, especially in primary school, secondary school, where they used to beat us like corporal punishment was the in thing. They'll beat us like shege. It marks and all that. And then 30 years after you're doing old students reunion, and the teacher comes in and you're looking at him with color eye. Look at that wicked man. He's forgotten. You ask him, say, Did I? Did I? Can't remember. Yeah. The one that beats you will forget. The one that received the cane will never forget that day and that man. So the axe forgets, but the tree remembers. Think about it every time you deal with people around you and in your business or environment. Be careful how you deal with them because they will never forget the ill done to them. But let's move on. Remember, on the Vintage Talk Show, we talk truth to power and shine light on dark spots. This is what they call the network permitting. So we'll start off with the Nigerian entertainment news. Esife, what do you have for us?
Backlash. Lady interviewed on my podcast committed suicide. Biola Adebayo. Nollywood actress Biola Adebayo has announced that the lady who featured in a controversial podcast interview has committed suicide. The lady, simply identified as Nike, came under heavy fire on social media after a clip of the interview where she confessed that she has two dogs to satisfy her sexual urges went viral. In a video message shared, via Instagram page on Saturday, 8th June 2024, Adebayo suggested that the lady took her life because of the backlash. Her words: "People read her story. Some people abused me. They said we fabricated the story. I gave her a listening ear, but she didn't tell me that she was going to die. She committed suicide."
Hmm. Well, is it Nika you call her?
Yes.
It's so sad. Uh, Suicide in any situation or circumstance is not palatable. It's I think you can't blame the dead. It's already dead. But you know your society. It's somewhat prim and proper society, even when most of us are hypocritical. But coming out in public to say you have fun with your pets, it's not pretty. Yeah, and obviously you will expect that people will lash back at you. I thought someone who could say that will have a thicker skin, but apparently it is not. And she allegedly surrendered to the backlash. It's so sad. It's so sad. Well, I don't know what kind of prayer to give could give her. Maybe we say the ones who she's left behind will find some kind of fortitude to bear the loss and the shame and the backlash and all that. Hmm?
"I am not a madman," Aunt Anuku speaks on viral video. Nollywood actor Aunt Anuku recently shared how a viral video falsely portraying him as mentally unstable significantly impacted his career and caused him personal distress. The video, which surfaced in 2022, showed Anuku dressed in tattered clothes and apparently talking to himself, sparking widespread speculation about his mental health. Following the video's release, Nollywood actress Shan George spoke out, denying the claims and asserting that Anuku was not mentally unstable. In a recent interview, Anuku clarified that the footage was from a movie set. The actor explained that he was preparing for a role that required him to portray a mentally unstable character, and he was immersing himself in the environment to perfect his performance. He refuted rumors that he was on drugs and sick, insisting that he's completely sane.
Well, Hanks is sane and not sick. He says he was trying to immerse himself into the role, like what you call a complete artist. They call it method acting. He's trying to methodically imbibe his role so he could say it and speak it effectively well. And some mischievous fellow took the pictures. That story we've been hearing about Anuku taking drugs, driving this, doing that. It's really true. Look at how he looks now. But it's nice shooting it down. He's not. He says he's not. He's not mentally unstable. So take his word for it and stop sharing such videos of him. We take a lot of things out of context. We just use videos halfway, partly, without getting the context right and seeking clarification. I mean, when you have like 100 million journalists, untrained journalists, you will have something like that. Sorry about that, Hanks, and clean up your act.
How the band inspired Jennifer brand, Funke Akindele. As the band's celebration of its 20th anniversary in the entertainment industry, popular filmmaker Funke Akindele shared a story about how the veteran singer inspired her to continue with her acclaimed Jennifer brand. Akindele recounted how she first met the band at a club where he expressed his admiration for the Jennifer series and encouraged her to produce more sequels. Akindele revealed that the band was surprised when she mentioned that she had concluded the Jennifer series. Emphasizing the potential of the band advised her to continue developing it, stating that Jennifer was a lucrative brand that should be sustained. To support her, the band generously gave her money to work on more sequels which eventually led to the creation of the Return of Jennifer. Akinele praised the band, saying, "The band, you are more than just a musician, you are a movement. Your music has brought joy to our hearts, and your legacy will live on forever."
Ooh, that's so nice. That's so nice.
Lovely, lovely.
Lovely notes, footnotes to history. It's nice what some people do behind the scenes without letting anyone know, inspiring others to great heights. So it's kind of nice, kind of quite nice for Funke to come out to say that. You know, a lot of people receive help, advice, financial, moral, and all kinds of support, and they quelch it. They just ride with it. If he doesn't do, somebody got to raise another person. That kind of mentality. But thank you for being thankful and showing gratitude. And we wish the band 20 continuous 20th anniversary
Yes,
showcase all over the place, singing and dancing.
Yes.
I watched the video, interesting. He hasn't lost his art. Good for him.
Davido announces wedding date with Chioma. Nigerian Afrobeat singer David Adeleke, also known as Davido, has announced his wedding date with his partner Chioma Rowland. Davido confirmed the date in a video while speaking with Pastor Toby Adeboyega on Tuesday, 11th of June. In the video, Davido was heard saying, "Guys, you have to come to Nigeria on the 25th for my wedding." The couple made headlines in 2023 after welcoming twins in the United States of America. Meanwhile, they reportedly got engaged following the tragic loss of their first child earlier in 2022.
Okay, that's nice. My advice is what Jesus told Judas at the what's it called, that dinner, at the Last Supper. He said, "That which you want to do, go do it quickly. You know, don't drag it. You know, 2022 till date. We understand the sad passage of the first child, and now that things are getting good, 25th of June, inshallah, must hold.
Yes,
And they must celebrate. Congratulations to Davido and Miss Roland. Yes, let's move on.
You can't say hip hop is dead. Skills blast Wizkid. Nigerian rapper and singer Skills criticized Afrobeat star Wizkid for his controversial claim that hip hop is dead. During an interview with Hip TV, Skills stated that the genre is not dead, but rather the excitement has shifted elsewhere. He expressed the belief that everything has its time and season, that it's not accurate to say that something is dead.
Yeah.
Rather, it's just not its time anymore. Skills added that the excitement has moved to another place, and he predicted that eventually someone might say Afrobeat is dead, emphasizing that it's all about timing.
I absolutely agree with Scales. It's no one is dead. No artist, no performer is suddenly totally bereft of talent. You know, like they say in football, form is ephemeral, is fashionable, is fad. But talent is eternal. I mean, if you have the skill, it can leave you. But sometimes you're out of form. So that is usually cosmetic. You know, you can get your form back down the. So you can say, I mean, it happened to Fuji, it happened to reggae, it happened to calypso, it happened to Afropop, then it happened to high life. It's a serial thing. Now Afrobeat is in ascendancy. It doesn't mean hip hop is dead, because one day somehow another group of people will say Afrobeat is So we will not like that. So Whiskey, mind your language.
Gospel music great Ayewa celebrates 75th birthday.
Ayewa.
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 Good.
The veteran gospel music singer's milestone was celebrated with a grand banquet at his residence, attended by friends and family. Various dignitaries paid tribute to him, recognizing his impactful music and exemplary lifestyle. Founder of Graceway Chapel International said, "Baba Ayewa is my father, and he is a worthy father, an amiable teacher, and a vessel of God's grace. He imparts this grace to everyone around him, correcting with love and nurturing younger ones without highlighting their mistakes." Emmanuel, Baba Ayewa's firstborn, shared this. "Dad's an amazing personality and a man of God. He is straightforward, God-fearing, and prays frequently. His life is truly worth emulating." Sarah, Ayewa's daughter-in-law, added, "Grandpa is a free-spirited person, a godsend. He has made significant impact in many lives, including mine. Whenever I feel down, Grandpa's encouragement lifts me up." Born on 12 June 1949, Joseph Adebayo Adelakun is a renowned Nigerian gospel singer, songwriter, and pastor of the Christ Apostolic Church, notable for his evergreen songs, including Amono Tetewa. He is set to retire from his pastoral duties on Sunday, 16th June, to focus entirely on his gospel music ministry.
I'm playing I'm playing this music for the benefit of the Gen Zs. And which one is before Gen Z? Millennial, right?
Yes, millennial, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe when I translate Ayewa, you understand. Ayewa to we will be blessed. Ayewa, we will be blessed. That's a fantastic chorus. They sang this song. That's why I want to play it for you. Amono Tetewa. That is why we call it evergreen. It fits every situation, every year. Like what we have going through now is a very difficult phase for Nigeria. And so saying Amon, the leader or the Messiah, please come quickly because the world is going to blizzards. Okay, let's move on.
The very last one, Sule Suebebe dies at 68. Veteran Yoruba actor Dayo Adewumi, also known as Sule Suebebe, has passed away at the age of 68. The announcement of his passing was made by Pastor Ademola Amusan, a well-known cleric based in Ibadan, also known as Agbala Gabriel. Suebebe passed away on Wednesday morning, which coincided with Democracy Day, at an undisclosed hospital in Ibadan, Oyo State, where he had been under the care of Agbala Gabriel for several months. The cause of his death is currently unknown. It was reported that on the 10th of July 2023, the Yoruba actor made an appeal to Nigerians for forgiveness regarding his responsible lifestyle when he was younger and asked for financial assistance to cover his medical expenses. During a Facebook Live session, the esteemed actor, who was facing health challenges, stated, "I was living life recklessly. I was involved in illicit activities and making constant money. However, I lacked a mentor to advise me about my lifestyle. None of my relatives warned me, so I saw myself as the dawn." To support the actor, Agbala Gabriel gifted him a house in 2023, and Nigerians supported him financially. The Ekiti-based thespian appeared in more than 100 movies, gaining recognition, particularly for his performances in Shuku Shuku Bam Bam in 2004, Part 1 and 2, Ago Konru 2003, and Okpa Kon Rebirth 2022. In addition to his acting career, he was an MC and a TV presenter, and he also managed a YouTube channel named Suebebe TV.
Thank you, Sife. I didn't capture your voice in the first line where you said the veteran Yoruba actor Dayo Adewumi, also known as Sule Suebebe, has passed away at the age of 68. I didn't capture that, so I just want everyone to hear that. It's not that old, 68, and they passed this week. We we ask that his spirit, his soul, rest in peace, and that those his loved ones will have the fortitude to bear it. And that's the end of entertainment news from ACFA Arobundari. Thank you so much, ACFA. Stay with us. We'll be back. Let's take a short break. This is Control by Aerostar. So you having serious problem. Well, in the absence of Mr. T or Alex, while I will await them, time waits for no one. Let's move on with the global trends today. What is happening all across the world? We start with Putin's ultimatum. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has said Ukraine will need to withdraw troops from territories Russia claims to have annexed before a ceasefire could begin. A proposal Volodymyr Zelensky, that's the Ukrainian president, called a Hitler-like ultimatum. You know, what Putin is saying is, we've invaded your country, we have taken some part of your country. Now you have to withdraw, fighting against us to retake that part of your country because it is now our own. So until you leave your part of your country that we have annexed, you can have a ceasefire. Wow, wow, wow. Hmm. Amazing life is the geopolitical power play that's happening in the far east of the world. Well, next, it says the UN's Children's Agency, UNICEF, has told the BBC that a convoy carrying aid was denied entry to northern Gaza despite having all the necessary documents. Hmm. What do you say to these things? You have confirmed that the convoy had aid, stuff that's vital to life in the Gaza region, in northern Gaza. Uh, Perhaps you suspect them to be carrying weapons or insurgents and all that. Then check it very clearly and very effectively, efficiently, and all that, and let people get necessities they need to live on. I don't understand. I can't understand war. Don't understand. Hmm. Next story says this is from down south, our end here in South Africa. A union born out of necessity. South Africa's governing African National Congress (ANC) and the main opposition Democratic Alliance (DA) have agreed to form a government of national unity, along with two smaller opposition parties. Our times change. For the first time in 30 years, the ANC was forced to negotiate an agreement after losing its controlling majority in elections. Yeah, the cookies have crumbled. Now ANC will have to bend backwards to accept their avowed enemies, politically speaking. Then the latest information is that ANC leader Cyril Ramaphosa is set to be re-elected as president after the deal was struck. Mm. And then the opposition, ex-president Jacob Zuma's MK party, will play the role of official opposition, but the formation is also plagued by infighting. Politics. Politics and infighting are like twins. They can and backbiting and conspiracies and all kinds. They are all bedmates. Next story says Donald Trump strategizes. The presidential candidate has met Republican representatives in Congress, returning to Capitol Hill for the first time since the January 6th riots, and a fortnight after his criminal conviction for falsifying business records in New York. you can't you, you can't find Trump in the dump. He's always strategizing. It would be a miracle if he didn't get back into their White House. Donald Trump. They've thrown everything at him: the kitchen sink, the WC, everything, system, and all that. The guy is still, is still happening in the hearts of some Americans. Wonderful. The next story says Wells Fargo sackings. The American bank has fired a number of employees who allegedly faked keyboard activity to fool bosses into thinking they were working. So that's what you see in Nigerian civil service. They will moving around carrying file and looking at the file, writing all sorts of things as if they are working. They're not doing anything. They're just gisting. Some of them, some of them. Let's be guided. Oh my. Then the next place says Elon Musk pay rise. Tesla shareholders have backed a record-breaking pay package for the company's CEO, one of the most richest people in the world, and also approved a plan to move the firm's legal headquarters to Texas. Elon Musk, apparently whatever he touches now becomes some kind of gold. The turnaround for the X, formerly Twitter, is astonishing. Uh, Good for him. Well, the last story for today is this: Celine Dion is ready to perform again. Since announcing in December 2022 that she was suffering from stiff person syndrome, SPS, Celine Dion has kept a low public profile after finding a treatment to help her manage the lifelong neurological condition. The Queen of Power Ballads is ready to return to the stage. Great news for lovers of lovely sonorous ballads, and Celine is at the tip of it. Welcome back, Queen. We hope you have a great one. Now let's listen to our own ballad here. We take a short break with Daddy Fresh. No, it's Daddy featuring Davido. I said Daddy Fresh. Forgive me. It's called Reminisce. Here it is. Mr. Febby, listening to what I'm saying in the newspaper something, I may ask you some questions. I may ask you your opinion. And your words are coming out nicer now. Expected. Stated. I like that. Oh, I've forgotten that Facebook is on. Uh, well, I'm just gisting with my daughter here. Uh, they are making progress. We are all learning. Any response from Mr. T? Hmm. Now it's time to take a look at the headlines of Nigerian newspapers. Top Nigerian newspapers. Let's start with this day. It leads with, as usual, business story, even on a Saturday. Says federal government, Afrexim Bank seal $3 billion deal to boost industrialization, CNG, others. A partnership to attract 2 billion investments and create 20,000 jobs. Fantastic when it happens. The second lead story is it's an instruction for leaders to be careful how they dispense their leadership. Kano governor ordering arrest of Emma Bayero violated his fundamental rights. The court holds. It awards 10 million naira as damages against the state, set to rule on motions seeking nullification of Kano Emirates law, June 20th. Yes, he's putting it mildly. It's ultra vires, as they say. You have done wrong. You ought not to order his arrest. Why? We need to be careful. Politicizing the traditional system will only bring chaos and dislocation in the society. Be mindful. Another 4 years, another governor may come, and then they start reordering the Emirates all over again. Let's be circumspect. Think about tomorrow. That's a small story on the headline and the cover that says, I'm sure Esife will like this. It says, Burna Boy sets new highest grossing tour record for African artists in Canada. Have you heard that? Highest grossing. Burna Boy, you like that, Abby? Yes. I can see you smiling from ear to ear. Your guy is breaking records all over the place.
Yes. That's like the account of giants of Africa, giants.
African giants, yes, indeed.
It's going global.
It's going global. You have to see where Esife in the studio blushing over Burna Boy. I hope the money gets to you too and your people.
Yeah? One day.
One day. Leadership Weekend says it leads with what happened in Ikoyi prison. It says warders, inmates speak on live in Ikoyi prison. Convicts paying millions of naira for bed space. Each day I wake up inside prison. I pray to God to bring me out safely. One of the inmates. I remember writing a book from my experiences in Kirikiri. As a journalist, there always one problem or the other. They were arrested for this or that and all that. And I was there for like a week, less than a week. And I wrote a book about it. That was in the 90s. Imagine what is now going on. 1 million for a bed space. Yes, the basic prayer you should pray every morning, and you will not run into trouble.
Amen.
I will take you to a police station, and then they will be detained in any prison in Nigeria. It's a death hole. Okay. Second story of interest in Leadership Weekend says El Rufai's commissioners dare Kaduna Assembly to release loan reports. You know, they want to castrate El Rufai, claiming that he did some underhand business with the government's money while he was governor. So there's a tit for tat challenge now. Okay. Knowing how all these people intertwine, they mingle together and all that stuff. Release the report now. Let us see, because they know there will be all kinds of poto splashing all over the place and all that. Meanwhile, the majority of Nigerians suffer for lack of this and that. Well, listeners out there, friends and all those who've been watching us or listening to us, either on Facebook, YouTube, or live on the radio, 90.9 FM. Please, you can share your views with us as we make all these run through into all these newspapers and other things we'll be talking about. We'd like to hear from you, your views, your comments, or in any interjections you want to offer. The number to call is 0913 697 3485. The number again is 0913 697 3485. We move on to Saturday Tribune, and it leads with the story of the day, really, for most people. You know, holiday, we have holidays on Monday and Tuesday, according to the Minister of Internal Affairs. So it's a long holiday from today till Tuesday. Ooh. So it says 24 hours to Salah. Muslims groan over killing costs of rams and other items. I like the airline. They're going to kill those rams. So the cost is already killing. About the killing cost of rams and other items. And NSDC deploys 47,000 personnel nationwide. I don't know how people have been surviving. I was near a market with my wife, and we priced tomatoes, about 4 or 5. This is 1,000. I was aghast. I said, "What? Now, what about this? What about it? We bought some stuff about 7,000. We can only cook one." Now, people are devising all kinds of styles, mash or blend cucumber. Some do carrots, some do anything that they can get to augment and to make the stew, bunch up a bit. How do you sell tomatoes? And they don't look they're not as if they're massive or they're beautiful. They look like, like albino kind of a thing. They have green hair, white hair, red hair, And then if you point to those big, red, fat ones, hey, no, it's not right. It's not right. And that's just tomatoes, though. There's pepper, there's bawa, there's tatashi, the onions. Mama. I don't know. I think some people will just maybe they want to buy the meat. If they're able to buy the meat, they will just share the meat like that. Nobody's cooking for anybody to eat. I was on one WhatsApp group, and they're lamenting every time about the cost of food. And I showed a picture of one man that grabbed the ram. He held the ram like like a suitcase, and I was walking with it. That whatever they buy their own, he has bought his own too. It's like buying a vehicle. It's terrible. My. People will say, as you are laughing, as you are crying, you'll be laughing. I have tears on my face, and I'm just sorry for us alone. It's so tough. It's very tough out there. Yeah. Another story says, at appeal courts, pro-Wike Rivers lawmakers lose bid to halt SAG. I don't think those ones remember that they are there to govern and to help the people. They've been breaking walls, demolishing assemblies, jumping parties, going to courts, fighting day and night. Okay. Lastly, let's take one more from the Tribune. It says Tinubu makes BC Akonde UI pro-chancellor, appoints Olani Pekum for Unilag, Ahmed for ABU, Oye Weso for OAU. I saw the list on television yesterday. Congratulations to all involved. I hope they do the right thing and get our education working well, especially tertiary institution. On Saturday Telegraph, we have democracy tedious. We must work hard at it. That's Fashola, the former Minister of Works and former Lagos governor, insists it's still the best way to order our affairs. Of course, nothing pays better than democracy. easy. Nothing gives you more funds, more leverage, more perquisites, more largesse than democracy, especially African type of democracy, where the winner takes all. Well, it is well. And lastly, from Saturday Telegraph, I beg your pardon, it says Salah, why we cannot celebrate by Muslims. Ram, pepper, rice, other items out of reach. Federal government declares Monday, Tuesday public holidays. Yeah, the story of our lives. Story of our lives. Daily Trust leads with story about the maritime. It says how shipping firms failed to remit over 119 billion levies to federal government. Wow. It's a minimum wage. Minimum wage. National Assembly proposes legislation to sanction non-compliant states. Okay, we wait. Yes, but they say we are a federation. We are a federating unit. States have their own powers. And then the National Assembly wants to legislate for states to comply by force, by fire, to paying whatever they've agreed on. I think government is still insisting on 62,000, and Labour is still insisting on 250,000. I hope they meet somewhere halfway. That will be convenient for both bodies, both parties. Ooh. Okay. Let's see if Vanguard will deliver a Saturday headline for us. It leads with Nigerians hail lawmakers. That's on the issue of single tenure, rotational presidency, and governorship. It says the bills will end agitations, reduce corruption, cost of elections. Power rotation will give us hope, a sense of belonging. The bills won't address our problem, some activists insist. And then while we are proposing the bills, 35 representatives of the National Assembly speak. Well, I think it's a great thing. They're methodically and stylishly and quietly effecting restructuring, as it were. A single tenure of 6 years just come, do it and go. At least, even if you waste 1 year at the beginning and the last year trying to plan for your successor, you at least have 4 years of hopefully intense focus on governance. That would be helpful. Instead of what we have here, every 4 years, they actually spend 2 years or less in governance. The first year is for stabilizing and scattering the landmarks of the predecessor, and the last 1 year is scheming and planning, if not 2 years before the end, scheming and planning for how to get re-election or how to get a successor that is a proxy that he can manipulate and all that. So we actually have 1 year of real governance, sadly. Let me say any other interesting thing. No, we don't. Let's move to Saturday Punch. Is there anything for us? It leads with us. Punch is like Deputy NLC. Is leading with minimum wage again. National Assembly may propose seizing defaulting states, local governments allocations. New minimum wage bill will be watertight and must be obeyed by all the Senate commandeers. Labor hails National Assembly. OPS, that's Organized Private Sector, asks National Assembly to create good environment for businesses. The fight next time is already been set. That's one interesting one. Sex for marks. Actress begs as varsity demands certificates to return. Oh God! Apparently, someone or she herself boasted about getting marks via canal connections and all that. Now the school said, "Bring back that certificate. Let's review it." Is it fair?
Yes.
Let's review. Well, how do you feel about they don't only get involved in sex um, for marks. They say it after school. They flaunt it on TikTok and all that. That at least she's out now. One by hook or by crook. You know, how do you feel? Your generation.
It's very, very bad. It's a really bad situation. You shouldn't be doing that at all. It's not the best. You can't How can you say you are flaunting yourself for it means that you don't value yourself, you don't respect yourself, you see yourself as being cheap and you want to just be used and be used for. It shouldn't be that way at all.
Some claim because they're poor, they're probably from poor homes.
No
Can
matter
that
the
excuse?
situation, you shouldn't sell your bodies for sex in any situation. You can, if you fail, and if the person demanding for sex and you fail, you can. It's better to fail and start from scratch than being allowing yourself to be used by just anybody. It's not the best at all.
Okay, words of wisdom from a Gen Z, like
No,
some of
I'm
these
millennial,
actresses.
not Gen Z.
Let me hear you. I didn't
I
hear
am
you.
a millennial, not Gen
Oh, you're
Z.
not Gen Z. Is
You,
it by 3 months or 4 months? How many? Less than 1 year. Okay. I correct myself. The millennials and Gen Z can hear that. One of you says, uh, respect yourself, respect your God given gifts, and don't fritter it away. Don't use it in exchange for certificates because sooner or later it will bounce back on you and you'll not like it. Last word from from the Punch before we move on. It says digital hookup. Sex workers move businesses online to cushion economic hardship. And they showed a Snapchat of quotes um, from one of the from their reports or from the investigation, how they hook up online, how they carry the business on. The world's oldest profession is going online. It's become it's going global. Oh my, oh my. Well, that's all for now for today on reviews of headlines uh, of our top Nigerian reviews of headline of top Nigerian newspapers. We'll be back shortly. We'll take a break. The band says it's not a lie. It's featuring One Day Cole. Nice, nice, nice. Let's hear him. Hey, doctor.
I greet you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Igala man.
Uncle Faj, I greet you, sir.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure, sir.
We'll move on immediately after this music break.
No problem. No problem, sir. I'm with you.
Thank you.
This is a vintage talk show with Femi Akintunde-Johnson.
Thank you for being with us. We are moving on to talking point, and our guest is already in the house. He's a good-looking young old man. He's been in this profession for a long while. He's a Nigerian journalist. He's a performing art. Wears many caps. He's a culture administrator, a media and PR expert. He's a film juror, I call him, and curator. Uh, he has first class in mass communication for his first degree. He has distinction in for his master's degree in mass communication, and of course, he has a PhD in mass communication. He can't read beyond that. He has done all and seen all. And then once I used to see him on stage, he's also a performing artist. Actually, he was the first national chairman of the Nigerian dance practitioners. And today, he's the executive director, chief executive officer, and also director general. I'm coming to talk about that all the while of the Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board. It's great to have this morning my good friend, uh, Dr. Shaibu Husseini. Good morning, Shaibu.
Good morning, Uncle Faj. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm deeply honored that I got, you saying that I'm your good friend. You are my boy. I'm not worthy to be called a friend.
Okay,
But we thank God.
I can be a friend also.
It's nice to be on the program.
We call him Igala man, and he's proud of his Nigerianness. Now, exactly what are you? Are you an executive director, CEO, or DG in that agency?
Actually, the act establishing the National Film and Video Censors Board has that role as executive director / CEO of the Film and Video Censors Board. But I think the DG thing came on because there is a bill that is waiting to be passed, and that bill makes it a classification commission. And if it becomes a classification commission, then the title will become that of the director general. So I think they were calling those names in anticipation of the approval of the bill. But presently, is executive director, sir.
Okay, thank you. Which sets me going my this action. I mean this thing has been worried me for a long time. Why do we the tag films a film and video censors board appears adversarial, like there's censorship, reprimanding, cutting, making sure that some things don't show in the film. I beg your pardon. There's this censorious part of it that worries me. That why is your agency named in some kind of adversarial role in terms of policing and doing DSS for Nigerian creative works?
All right, thank you so much for this question. Well, I'm happy you say my agency, but don't forget that I was only appointed in January by Mr. President, and I assumed office in March. So I'm very new to the agency, but I know why we got that name, and all that, and that's because what is presently the National Film and Video Censors Board came out from a colonial cinematographic act, censorship and cinematographic act that we had in the colonial days. I think up to 1964. Then when we got independent, and then there was a need for us to actually set up a censorship and classification. It happened during the military, and these terms like censorship are things you find under the military regime. So it has maintained that from 1994 to the present day. But upon my appointment, I went to the honorable minister and I said, "Look, ma'am, I've studied the environment to know that all over the world they have transited from censorship to classification. I mean, this is a democracy." And to
Yeah.
the credit of my predecessor, there is a bill, like I mentioned earlier, in the National Assembly that has taken care of the word censorship. That has taken care of the word censorship. And it's basically now, when the bill is passed into law, it will now be the classification board. All over the world is classification, not censorship. I don't even like the word censorship, because the moment you mention censorship, you are talking about cutting, you are talking about telling people
Yeah.
how to make
Yeah.
the arts,
Yeah.
how to create their work. And that's not our work. Our work is not to tell people, teach people how to make art. It's like those mistakes we make as critics, when after
Yeah.
we find something in a work, we begin to tell the director that, "I wish you use your Wale for this role." I
For
mean,
this, yeah.
that's not what criticism is about.
That was
So
yeah. Yeah.
it's full transition. What I commit to is that once the bill comes, we can't change the name now because it's an act of the National Assembly. So it's only when
Okay.
that bill is passed that we can now have a name change, and then we can now officially tell them that we have moved completely. But as an administrator, I commit fully to classification than censorship.
Thank you. We're chatting with Dr. Shaibu Husseini, the Executive Director, CEO of National Film and Video Censors Board. He's chatting with us from his operational area, which I believe is Abuja. And
Yes, sir.
if you have question for him, the number to call is 0913 6973 485. 0913 697 3485. I have a question for you, Dr. Uzaini. When I don't know if it is immediate predecessor, Mr. Ademola, is it Thomas or something?
No,
One of
Adedayo Thomas was the last
Thomas.
executive director.
Okay, he had a very chaotic relationship with some of the Nollywood practitioners, especially when it came to fund. I mean, payment for classification or for validation of their works. And there was the hoopla for a few years back. Now, when I went through your websites, all I was seeing, I don't know if the other one is hidden or it's been cancelled. All I was seeing is a few thousand, 1,000, 10,000, something for display distributors' works and all that, that they should get permission from the NFV
CB.
CD, okay, and all that. So do producers of films in Nigeria have to pay certain amount of money for their works to be classified?
Yes, the law makes it mandatory for every content, short, long, contents that are produced in Nigeria and imported to be exhibited in Nigeria to be classified by the board. And all over the world, you need to pay some fee for classification. It's not just peculiar to Nigeria. If you take your work to South Africa classification board, you have to pay a prescribed fee for classification. If you go to Kenya, and then if you go to UK, you have to do the same. So it's not just we that charge money. We charge money indeed, and we charge some money indeed, for you to be able to classify. So it's not just to us, but it is mandatory. What is important for us to know is that it is mandatory that whatever content you are producing, musical videos, skits, drama. You have to, something that is dramatized fiction, you have to pass it through the board. It's a law that is in place. I didn't make the law. The law has been in place since 1994 after we moved away from the Cinematographic Act. And it's so really, until we get to that time, in the society, when the various kind of tax that we pay are used to fund our operations, that's when I think maybe we can be doing it for free. But all over the world, you have to pay for classification. If you go and you want to somebody to do, because there are operational costs to be borne, from classifying the films and giving it the appropriate rating. So it's not my making really, and it's not just peculiar to Nigeria. You have to pay for classification anywhere in the world.
Okay, thank you for that. So the baby of that question is to the effect that what kind of money do you charge? Do you charge money like as if you are fundraising for your ministry, or you have become more or less like customs and customs department and all that? That if, for instance, if I make a video will say 3 million, and I'm supposed to pay 500,000 to the agency, that is quite counterproductive, because
No, you are
how am
not
I going
paying.
to?
I don't think. Okay, sorry. Maybe I'll allow you to finish. Sorry.
Yeah, so I want to see the kind of mindset behind the agency's introduction or insistence with the legal payment of certain amount. Is it in such a way that is punitive, or it is just something that it's not much of significance to affect their flow? I mean, cash flow business and all that.
No, it is insignificant. I mean, it is not about revenue generation. There are two things to it first. First, there are operational costs that are attached to running this service, so to speak, on behalf of government, and you need to pay. And nobody pays 500,000. If you make I think presently for a full-length film that is over 1 hour, you are expected to pay 100,000 naira. 100,000 naira, it cannot, there's no film you can make for 100,000 naira. You make films
Yeah.
for over 10 million and the rest. And me, as I got to the board, I'm even trying to see whether we can even review the fee, not upwards, but try and review the fee in a bit, so that let people know that it is not about revenue generation, even though our function is also to get revenue for government through classification of content. The second reason why we do classification, really, for me, and I've followed classification activities all over the world, is for data, to gather data. When I came to the board, and we have to, like this month, we declared that we were only able to classify 774 films in May, for May. And I said, no, it is not true. We can't be saying that we made only 774 films in this vibrant industry for May. And that's because a lot of them are bypassing the board, and they are doing it against the law. When you said earlier that my predecessor was at loggerheads with the filmmakers, it's because they know what to do, but they are not doing it. They are just bypassing the board to do what they want. It is when now you try to enforce that they begin to say, oh, you are very high-handed. I give you a very quick example. Maybe we'll talk about it later. There was a filmmaker who came to us, classified his film. We gave him a classification rating, and the filmmaker went and added a full 10-minute scene of porn in the film.
Post censorship,
Post
post
censorship.
category. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
post classification. And what I did was that, look, I have promised myself, because when I came, there was a lot of lawsuits between the board and filmmakers. And I said, no, that I'm an artist. We should be on location. We shouldn't be in court talking to people. So I've been preaching the need for us to take responsibility as filmmakers, so that we will do less of enforcement and do more of classification and perhaps engagements, on how to better the industry and all that. And this guy went and added some funny thing that does not even relate to the film. But because we have written a warning to him and demand and the rest, I will not want to mention the title of the film so that I don't give it publicity, because, that is what sells people.
Yeah.
So, but this is the kind of things that they do that make you to begin to makes the board look as if it's a police, it's a moral police of the industry. Post classification, you can't add any other thing. If you bring it to us and we see it, we can put a rating on it that does not allow underage or people that are not the audience for that film to see the film. And what is even funny is that that particular film, that scene has no business in the film, but probably because, it's a story, the narrative, but probably because we were taught in school that sex sells, and then all those kind of things they sell. So this guy went and put the thing, and immediately we sent him a demand notice because the law says that we should write them, give them 14 minutes to pull the work down, and then to generally apologize in medias and all that to us. Before they read the letter to the end, they have started taking action. Because I had told them that we don't have to go to court. We don't have to drag filmmakers. Filmmakers should have time to be creating their works and not to be reporting to one police station or the other. But they need to take responsibility so that we don't look like we are moral police or like people going, and so on. And so that's the problem. So these laws, we are censoring we are not like we're a revenue generation outfit because people pay to classify, but the intention is really not to generate revenue as such. It's also to get data for the number of films that we make in this industry. I am sure that if UNESCO comes now and conducts a survey and depends on our data and that we provide to Bureau of Statistics, they will dethrone us from second largest. They will dethrone us from the second largest that we have been banding for so long, because people are not aligned data, and data is very necessary for development. Data is very necessary to track how this industry is growing. But our people, they are just, in fact, the digital space has been a big challenge to us, even at the census board. But we'll see how we go about it.
Okay, thank you. I've been chatting with Dr. Shaibu Hussaini, I wanted to say DG, Executive Director, CEO of the National Film and Video Census Board. Right, I'll come to that board thing later. Well, I want to ask as a follow-up to this issue of classification and post-classification skirmishes and all that. Why? How does your agency handle a situation where you classify a work of art as 18? Right, 18 means only for adults, right?
Yes.
And then people underage, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, have access to it. How do you monitor the dispersal or the distribution of works that are categorized in such a way that is not for the entire society? How do you manage that? How do you manage some kind of I'm sure you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I get you quite right.
How do you manage it?
Yes, what we do is that our operations and enforcement department, first of all, the first responsibility we have is to ensure that the classification we give you is what you display on your film. Okay. We found out later that what they do is that we give them a 18 classification. They will go now and then they will start with the 18 class. They say this film is classified 18. So at the beginning. When the film goes, the next classification you see will be general. Those sharp practices, we get to them. We get the filmmaker involved and talk to him. But the second level is that we can't be in every homes to monitor people who are watching their content at home. But what we do is that there's a level, and this level is called the media literacy level. We hold every month across 36 states of the Federation media literacy program for young people and for their parents. And what we do is that we tell you that, look, you need to take responsibility for what your young people watch. And so we let them know about these classification symbols and let them know that when you see a G, you know that this is general. When you see this, you know that. Because media literacy is really, really very important in in this our society. So we organize media literacy from schools to school because our offices are in 34 states and we have 6 zonal offices. And so we get them to go to schools, to go to clubs, like we are planning now in August to head to the East, where they have this regular August meeting. And we are going to show graphically to our moms what their kids are watching. Sometimes they think that they are watching cartoon, and they don't know that there's something hidden inside the cartoon. Like I was at home on the day, and my 6-year-old daughter was watching the stuff. It was very good. I liked the cartoon. But it got to a point where young people, young animated objects, were dragging shisha in the film. And my daughter now said, "Daddy, what are they taking like that? I can see smoke coming out." I just said, hey, I just blocked the content and I just moved on. And again, see what happens, sir. When my wife came back, my wife, I don't know, her level of literacy is very high now. She media literacy, that is. She got an app on her phone that can enable her know what those guys are watching at home. So when she came back, she now said, come. Who typed, how can I unlock this channel on my phone? You were the one using it. She now said, Mommy, I'm the one. I wanted to watch that cartoon. I thought Daddy fast forwarded the part that I shouldn't watch. If I even fast forward, will she go and go back? So there's a lot that is involved, and thankfully we have a media literacy program that, though not well funded, but we're trying to partner with people so that we can actually reach out to people. I know it is not possible to cover the length and breadth of the country, but the way we are spread as an agency, we'll be able to do that part. The other part is engaging with the filmmakers themselves. Uncle Faj, it has come to a time when we need to take responsibility for the kind of content that we push out. There is a need for us, because whether you like it or not, you are making money from it. But the damages that the things that you are doing to the people who are coming, to young people, for instance, you are doing a film, you have a narrative you want to sell, and you bring somebody and you have a young girl. You tell us in the narrative that she's in university, year 1 or year 2 in the university, so she should be like 20, 21. She goes out on a date with a friend, and the friend, does not keep up to his appointment, and she comes back depressed. As a filmmaker, are there no other ways that you can get this girl out of depression? But no, because some of those things sell. You see, they use this young girl, 21, she picks up a pack of cigarettes and then displays the pack. Then she removes 1, 2, 3, 4 and takes in a single scene. And then in the tray, you have another 5 sticks of cigarette in the tray, which meant that she has taken 5 before and she has taken 7 in the film. Is that the best way to get out of depression? I know that people like us, we argue that, freedom of artistic expression, you can express. This is responsibility. You are telling another young girl at home that if she served breakfast, as they say in Gen Z language, she should go and take 7 sticks of cigarette and get out of depression. You are telling them that, like what we see in our musical videos, you are telling them that you just hold red cup, you hold a big bottle of some gin and the rest of them, and you are taking everywhere. In fact, we with theater background, when we want to do smoke effect, we get a smoke machine to blow smoke for us on stage. But now in some music videos, you don't need a smoke machine. Just the dancers around you, those guys who follow all these pop stars, just you see them puffing everywhere.
Wow.
Anyway, so we need to take responsibilities as filmmakers. I don't mind spending the whole of my tenure engaging with filmmakers. Yes, we can make money from filmmaking. We can do that, but we need to take responsibilities. I was having a discussion with one filmmaker, and I said, look, I have seen some scenes let me mention his name, Akintunde-Johnson's films, where it's suggestive that they are going to have love making in a scene. There are certain acts you will do, And I will conclude at home that these people had some fun. But this one, oh Lord, there is a film I saw. The man, they had put off the light, then the man put the light back, and the man just held on to this woman who was naked, held on to her sorry, I don't know whether they use the word on radio, held on to her breast live on TV for our young children who are at home, who are watching. They'll be wondering, is this oh no, let's not go into other one so that I don't.
Are you still referring to TK? Are you still referring to TK, the last thing you mentioned?
No. It was not TK's film. I was saying that I saw another film because we have seen films by professionals. We have seen films by professionals when they depict sex scenes and they suggest to you that it's obvious. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying, sir.
I do. Instead of making it blatant and all that.
They just make a depiction. But these guys, they will go so graphic. So graphic.
Well, I have a confession.
If you don't show it that graphically, people will not enjoy the film. That's the comparison I wanted to make. There are some professional ways you can depict that, but some people are so unprofessional in the way they depict it, and it's open porn in our films.
Okay. Thank you very much. I have a confession to make before you go. I was one of those whose immediate reaction when I read the piece you said about fighting against glamorization of sex, alcohol, smoking, and all that in our films. I came up with the attitude. No, you can't police creative intuition and all that stuff. But from what you have said, it makes sense. It's not that you don't. Nobody stops you from depicting sex acts or some kind of depression, anti-depression tactics and all that, but do it in such a way that you can imply it. It can be implied. It doesn't have to be blatant. It doesn't have to be just crude and all that. Yeah, sufficient. I think you need a lot of media engagement and all that, so people can understand that it's about creative maneuvering without. I mean, because if you don't watch a Nigerian film, they will watch it in American movies.
Yeah,
but you can set your own pace for your country. Now, I want to say the last one before I leave you, and it's been very interesting, your takes on this. When you have, first of all, two things to wrap it up. Why is it called board and not an agency? Board presupposes that it's some kind of small committee of people governing an agency. So why is it called board and not an agency? And then secondly, why do you, in your website, you said list of approved association? Is it part of the job for the agent, for your board to have approved association within the industry, and therefore associations that are not affiliated with you are illegal, ab initio?
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And in fact, I must doff my hat, continue to doff my hat for you, because you have done extensive research on this agency. And I'm sure if I finish my tenure, they don't need to advertise. They should just get you to be a DP for that, because you know the agency. In fact, I was very pleased when you called my attention to a particular error on the website, and that has been corrected. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Why the board? Why the board? You know, this board was created from the Ministry of Information, what used to be Ministry of Information. It used to be a desk at the Ministry of Information, and the government thought the cinematographic desk in the Ministry of Information. So government thought that it was necessary for it to be a standalone agency. But that so what they did was that they just got a few officers from the Ministry of Information, got them together, appointed Ademola James, Ademola James, to become the first chief executive of the agency. So it was a small body. But by 1994, when the Act came, the Act now established it as an agency, but they didn't change the name from a board to a parastatal agency. So it has continued like that. But when our new bill comes up, and by the grace of God, we should have it before the end of the year. It will be called what it is supposed to be called. Like I told you, National Film and Video Classification Commission. That's what the new name will be. No more censorship and classification. Then the second one, very important question you asked. The Act provides for us to only deal with members of registered associations. That is, if you are a filmmaker in this country, you must belong to something. So if you want to come and censor your film, you can't just walk up from your room and come without any affiliation. So what the Act says is that we only accept films from members of registered associations. It can be actors, you can be whatever, but you must be affiliated to an association to be able to bring your film to us, because there's a provision on the form that asks you, are you a registered member of an association? So what we just did technically, what my predecessors did technically, was to say, okay, since the law provides that we can only take films from filmmakers who belong to one registered association and the rest, let's pull the associations together. They submit to us annually or quarterly list of their registered members, so that when Lagbaja comes and says, I have made a film, because the practice in Nigeria is that you can be a director, you can be producer, you can be cinematographer, you can be everything. So they now said, register, these guilds you register, then submit to us members of membership, your annual membership, updated membership register. So if somebody comes and says he's a member of cinematography guild, but he has made a film as a producer and he wants to classify it, it will be easy for us to deal with the person. All we just need to do is to come from the register and then deal. But again, on the long run, it is just a way of professionalizing the industry. In fact, if you are a lawyer in this country, you are proud to say that you belong to Nigerian Bar Association. If you are an advertising practitioner, you are proud to say that you are a registered member of Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, or what the name is now. If you are doing this, you need to belong to something. So we are not saying that an association is illegal. If you don't register with the board, or if you are not registered by the board, your association is legal. There's freedom of participation. But the only thing is that you can't bring your film to us and say you are a filmmaker in this country and you don't belong to something. You must belong to something. We are not telling you go and belong to ANTP. We are not saying go and belong to Tampa. We are not saying go to a professional association and be something there. Just have a card carrying so that we can be able to know where you belong. Not that you just stand up from your home, even though there is freedom of content creation now. Everybody said, even myself, when I make so many posts, I get Facebook telling me you are doing well, you are doing well. Post more reels and all that. It is true. They want to professionalize Uncle Faj, so we encourage them to belong to those associations. You can't just walk to us and say you want to do a film. We want to know who you are. You can just be sent as a spy from one country. You look like a Nigerian, and then you are giving us your film classified. So that's the thing behind it.
Thank you so much. I've been chatting with Dr. Shaibu Hussaini, the Executive Director, National Film and Video Censors Board. I would like to have a last word, maybe like 2 minutes. What exactly will be your parting shot when you leave the agency? What will you love for you to see as a legacy when you leave the agency?
I want to leave a board that will completely move from censorship to full classification. I want to see a board when I leave that will operate, the best digital platforms. I mean, we're not doing anything analog again. Even if we do some bit of analog, is because of maybe our level of literacy, because whether you like it or not, there are people who still watch DVDs up to now, even if you think that everybody has gone streaming. And I want to leave a board that will be responsive to society, that will be responsive to its stakeholders, that will be responsive to itself too as an agency, and then that will be responsive to government that sets it up. There's a reason government sets up the classification board, and we will ensure that we don't go below it.
Well, that's the gala man for you. The executive director of National Film and Video Censors Board. Thank you so much, Dr. Shaibu Husseini, for chatting with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And have a wonderful weekend. See you.
Thank you, sir.
We have had very interesting, enchanting discussion with Dr. Shaibu Husseini talking about Nollywood classification, not censorship, and all that. We'll take a bow as we go to what we call the grades. The grades is what? Is our way of showing you uh, that we have history. We have great contributions from musical legends, dead or alive. And today it's the turn of former Afropop king and love merchant. They actually we call him Lover Boy. It took time before he, he continued in that sobriquet for like 40 years or 50 years. I think in the past few years, I think he's now married. But he used to serenade us with Ifeoma. We call him Felix Liberty. This is Ifeoma by Felix Liberty from his album One Life to Live, 1989. Ifeoma. It was a chartbuster. National anthem. Give me your love. Give me your love. Give me your love. Ifeoma. Ifeoma. Today, Felix Liberty is no longer a lover boy. He's Jesus lover and a pastor. He runs his own Christian ministry now. Felix Liberty he started his journey with his high life elder brother Aigbe Liberty. His first release early in the 80s is Girls for Love. Now you know it's all about love for him. But he broke through also with his chart-busting 1982 song Loverboy. I'd like you to listen to it. It's still cracking. And that gave him the sobriquet of a lover boy. Lover Boy by Felix Liberty. When you check his discography, you probably wonder that what is Liberty's craze for Igbo women? He has Ifioma, Chichi, Ego, Ada, Uchenna, Nneka, and also this one, Ngozi. You got to listen to it. Yes, Nigerians need your love. This is a message to all the rulers and leaders. It's your love that we want, compassion, and good policies, sensible uh, sacrifice, so that we can survive as one. And leave you on that note with Felix Liberty saying, Ngozi, wonderful, wonderful piece of music of the 80s. He's a legend for us, musically speaking, and is done his own work. Now he's chatting around, of course. So we'll take a leave now. Isife, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You are my Ngozi this morning. What will be your final words for our people today?
Enjoy this break. Enjoy well. Relax well. Baraka de Salah to all our Muslim fans, family, and friends. We love you all.
Okay. So we say in this moment of sacrifice and piety, we say we love you all. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your Salah responsibly. Thank you. See you next time. Shaibu, thank you, Shaibu, for joining us. It was wonderful.